Okay, good morning. It's been 10 hours and we're gonna get our dough ready to bake. So this is what it looks like. It's risen overnight. It looks really good. So we are going to get this out of the bowl and rolled into a loaf. So I'm gonna flour my counter. I don't have one of those fancy counter flours yet, so I'll just use my hand. Okay, so we're going to get this dough out of the bowl. We want to be really gentle with it. So I kind of just pull it away from the sides and pull it up toward the middle really gently like this. We're going to get it out of the bowl here. Okay, and our first step is going to be flour your hands a little bit. Our first step is going to be just to kind of stretch the dough and pull it to the center, all around like this. And stretch and fold it toward the center. Okay, stretch, fold, fold. And we're just going to roll it into a little ball. And we're just going to let that sit for about 10 minutes. It's been 10 minutes, so now we're going to get our dough ready to do its second rise. And you need, we're going to use a banneton, a lined banneton with a towel here. You can use just a bowl with a towel or a tea towel. We're going to flour this really well so that the dough doesn't stick. We're going to be using the lined fabric in the banneton. You don't have to do that. You can flour it so you get the lines on it, but I want to do a scoring pattern, so I don't want the circular lines from the banneton shaping the bread for me or imprinting the bread. So we're just going to do some well flour in here and set this aside. Now we're going to get ready to shape our loaf to go in. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is flip it over. Okay, and then it's already still in its round from earlier, so we're just going to kind of smooth this and tighten it around like this, and then we have to tighten up the loaf. So what I like to do is I'll put the back of my hands, here, and then the front of my thumbs right here, and we're just going to pull into our thumbs like this to kind of tighten that, and we're going to do the same thing around all the sides. You may start to see little bubbles forming. That's great. Those are going to act as your holes when your loaf is cooked. But we just want to tighten this round. So we're just going to keep moving this around to each side and pulling so that it's a nice, smooth, and tight round here. You'll start to see the dough get really smooth and be full of bubbles. That's perfect. So after we've done that a few times, we're going to use our bench scraper here, and we're going to kind of push against our hand just a little, just to tighten it up a little more. Okay, and once we have a sufficient round here, we're happy with this. We're going to put it face down into the banneton, so we'll use our bench scraper to help us with that. Just lift up, and then we're going to flip over. So you're going to see the seam here, which is fine. That's not going to show later. So we're going to let this sit. We're going to cover and let this sit about an hour for the second rise. In the meantime, we're going to preheat our oven to 450 degrees so that it's all ready to bake when we're done with the second rise. Okay, we'll see you back in an hour. All right, it's baking time. So you need to have your pot that can go in the oven. This is just a Lodge coated cast iron stock pot or Dutch oven, okay? And then you're gonna want some parchment paper. The holiday time at Costco is the best time to get parchment paper. You'll get 2 of these and they really just last forever. So we're gonna do parchment that'll fit in our Dutch oven, okay? our dough ready. So we're gonna take it off. See, it's risen there. And need a little bit of flour. So we're just going to put the parchment over the loaf like this, and then it should come right out. So we have a nice smooth top here. I'm going to add a tiny bit more flour just to rub on and coat all of it. Then I'm going to put in my little design, my scoring design. So you could use a bread lame like this. It comes with a really sharp razor blade. I'm actually going to use the razor blade not attached to the lame, if I can find it. Oh yeah, here we go. Okay, so be careful with these. They're extremely sharp. Keep them out of the reach of children. They will do some serious damage. So holding it by my hand just gives it a little more, just able to use it a little bit easier. So okay, so we're just going to slice down the center. And then I'm going to do a little leaf pattern. Just going both ways here. And then I'm going to go in the opposite direction, this way. You really can just kind of have fun with this. Try out different designs. I don't think you really can mess it up. So hopefully we'll see. That'll look pretty when it comes out. Okay, so put our razor blade away. And then, my daughter didn't know we were filming, so you can kind of hear her in the background. So then we're going to put this into our pot here and cover it with the lid and take it on over to the oven. The oven should have been set at 450 degrees. Okay, so we'll see you over there at the oven. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put our dough in the oven here with the lid at 450. It's going to go in for 20 minutes with the lid on, and then we're going to take the lid off. Okay. Let's get that in. See, we're making some waffles here with our discarded starter from yesterday. I'll do another video about that another time. Okay, so we're going to set this for 20 minutes, and then we'll be back to see what it looks like, and then cook it the next step. Okay, our 20 minutes is up, and we are going to just remove the lid. Set that aside. Turn off this timer here. See if we can see this. It's starting to look really good here. See? That's a timer for 12. Okay. So. All right, so we're just going to bake this now again for 30 minutes with the lid off. Okay, let's set our timer. And we'll be back in 30 minutes. All right, we're almost finished. So our 30 minutes is done. And now we're just going to go ahead and put the bread on the rack itself just to finish getting crusty. So I'm going to use a spatula. Get this out of here. This is rack by itself. And then that's going to go, well, this recipe recommends 10 minutes on the rack. I think that's a little too long for my oven. So I do 7. Okay, so we're just going to set this for 7 minutes, and then that'll be it. We'll be done. Okay, here goes. It's all done. All right, let's get excited. Pull it out here, put it on our cooling rack. That's it. You want to wait about an hour to cut it because it's going to finish cooking, and you can probably hear it crackling when you make yours, but it's going to finish cooking. Doesn't it look beautiful? it'll finish cooking in the last hour. So you don't want to cut it too soon because it'll be real moist inside. And you don't want it super moist. So in an hour, you'll be good to go. Okay? I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Bye!